All right. Hello. Hello. So, fires. Yeah, there's fires. I know all about it. I'm in northeast Victoria. I'm breathing it every day. I can barely see my hand in front of my face. Thousands of hectares burnt. Huge amounts of compassion, empathy to those who have lost their property and their loved ones as well. It's just shocking. Um, I just wanted to put this video together. Going to be a rather long video, I think. I've spent the last few weeks just recording some footage from the news, and the reason is because a lot of what we're seeing is quite unusual. And here we go. I just wanted to start it off with this. I'm just going to pause it. I'm not going to subject you to the horrors of the commercial news presenters, so I've turned the volume off for them. Now we can see a bushfire. Wow, look at that, black. As we know, there's a lot of bushfire going on, but when they're talking about property damage, this is what you'd expect to see. Burnt out forest and a building, a house, a shed, whatever it is, caught in the middle of it. Fair enough, right? Even though it's been completely demolished, that's a little strange. You might expect to see perhaps the frame of the house still there, just burnt out. But anyway, this is what you might expect to see. Now, what's strange about the rest of the footage I've captured is that it doesn't look like this. So I'm going to get on with it and point it out as best I can. So what are we looking at here? Demolished buildings, house, shed, or two houses, not sure. The point is, I mean, they're obliterated, but the surrounds are green. It's as though there's no fire actually come through this area. There's just some demolished buildings or caved in warped roofs. However you want to describe this, there's obviously some sort of a huge amount of heat here, some fire. But why, if this is a bushfire, is the bush not burnt? I see green here, here, etc. Let's just let it roll. There's quite a lot more like this. Completely obliterated buildings, warped, caved in tin roofs. Granted, there's some burnt trees there, but how did this structure die? Was there some ember that landed, one of those explosive C4 embers that just landed on this house or structure, whatever it is, and just, how can you even tell what it was? Surely, if it was a bushfire, you'd still be able to see some sort of a frame. Bushfires don't demolish buildings, do they? And it's in a clearing. How's the fire got to this building? Continuing on. Just warped, twisted steel. Trees around the perimeter. Trees. Just in the middle of a what is this? It's dirt. It's just got a warped, munted roof. Demolished building. And some of this footage is going to repeat, as the news tends to repeat the same footage over, so I apologise for that. But I think you already get the point. I'm just going to try and back this up a little bit. Because this next one's interesting. I see a veranda here all the way around the edge of this home, which is largely intact, or almost, you'd have to say it's intact really. But what else do we see? It's like what Godzilla's come and stomped on this. A bit like that car of Friend in Burke Street, just come and stomped on it. And there doesn't seem to be much of a burn pattern leading to this house. I mean, there's concrete, there's dirt, there's trees that aren't burnt. So someone explain that. Does that look like a bushfire? Trees, demolished. Where's the frame of the house? What happened here? Did the fire come and jump this little roof here, demolish this building, Didn't worry about any of these trees. And jumped this little driveway, demolished this building. Don't worry about that. That's fine. Don't worry about these trees. That can stay. These trees can stay. That can stay. Oh, and just hopped over here. Don't worry about this. Just squash this structure. I guess it was a house. How can you tell? Look at the green. Where's the... So the fire came in, jumped over this, and there's another picture of this scene coming up later, I think, which shows this a bit more clearly. What are we looking at here? Trees, demolished building. Excuse me. I just better let it play. There's so much of this, it's just unbelievable. Just obliterated out of recognition. How did the fire get to the roof of this property? We see, it looks like there was a fire here. Nothing here. Yeah, this is the scene I was talking about. Again, you can see a bit more clearly. This one's untouched, this one's untouched. The fire just jumps, it just demolishes different structures at different times. It's the same one again. Is there a bushfire behind these buildings? This shed here. That one's just in the middle of a bunch of houses that are okay. Demolished. Heat affected, warped. Trees. It's just building, it's just property damage. It's property damage, car. Little trees around the outside. This place is in a clearing. There's no trees for a couple 100 meters. How did the fire get there? Demolished. It's just the same thing over and over again. All of them. Property damage. Poor old tractor. There's a bit of a repeat footage here. Sorry, it's been hard to edit all this together. I've done my best, but every now and then I'll get a couple of pieces of footage that are going to repeat. I can't spend more than a couple of weeks on this. I'm over it, but it has to be done. I feel like if anyone's been paying attention to the news, surely they've noticed this themselves, but I've gone to the trouble of recording it, and this guy's like, yeah, well, how did my house burn and all those trees didn't burn back there? He's just like dumbfounded, isn't he? I'm in the middle of a clearing. Why is my house just smashed up like that? That's just like he's shaking his head. He can't believe it. He's in the fire brigade. He knows what a fire is. He's just looking at this going, that surely can't happen. But he didn't say that. He's unaware of what the possible cause really was. And she's just like, oh, this is just how fires go. Oh, yeah, this is a normal fire. Even though the bush isn't burned, it's still a bushfire. It just happened to get my house. Mainly got my house. And this guy's like, oh, yeah, the fire come up here, demolished this house. One of those destructive, intelligent fires that just bounces around and smashes up whatever it lands on and doesn't worry about the trees in between those areas. And the tree burning from the inside. That's normal. And what do we have here? Oh, this is nature. Yeah, nature does this. Nature just burns out cars like this. And this guy's like, oh well, what can I do? You know, nature come through. Nature just come through here and did this. But he's obviously a hardworking, honest, decent bloke, and he wouldn't have even considered the possibility that there might be something more at play here than nature. Because why would you? I mean, I do, but apparently I'm a tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy nut.
Where's the glass
Yeah,
for these
I'm just
cars?
gonna pause it.
None of
This
these.
is some video from a YouTube channel by Grace. In Truth by Grace is the name of the channel, and she's fantastic and very well known. Unlike me, I'm just a little tadpole. But I've decided to rip her off, and at least I'm giving her some cred. And now let's just hear what she has to say. This is California Fires 2017. I'm just going to let it play and let her commentate.
These cars have any glass? And look at the wheels. See the bottom of the wheels here? I'm going to show you in a minute. When these tires melt, when cars catch on fire, I just showed you of what a normal house fire looks like. Look at this. Where is everything? Where's the black? Where's the materials that were trees trunks are still here. But these things are there's no frame. There's no frame to these. Now look at this. Tell me where this fire entered. Where did this fire come from? It's green around here because it doesn't make any sense how this fire burned. These trees weren't burned. So this wasn't a forest fire.
You're saying
you can
it,
see
Grace.
it burned through here.
You're telling me. Like, the guys who operate this shit, I mean, it must be like a computer game for them. Bang, 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 bang. Yeah. Take it and I'll leave these ones. Bang, bang, bang. It must be fun, eh? They must click a trigger or a button or something. Just be bang, bang, bang. Laser, zap, 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 zap. Excuse me, I got a bit carried away there, but what about the? Why not these ones here? Where's the bushfire? Why are there these trees here? Anyway, I'll let her continue.
But these trees are fine. How did it cross the street? How did it get through here? This is an island. This is like and it's all white. Everything thereof.
Oh, that's normal.
I mean, you want to tell me every granite countertop and
you want to tell me that's a bushfire? That's a forest fire?
All the structures. Because it must have moved through so fast.
That's just your regular bushfire right there.
So some of the structures should still be here. There's just a couple of pieces of brick.
Yeah, no.
And look at this. It went across the street and it missed this house and missed this house and burned everything but the trees. I mean, this is just this. I don't know why anybody hasn't looked at this. But look at this mess.
Let's look at it.
Where's the property? Where's the material that was in these houses? Something is just not right here. You've got these. You
That's
mean to tell me the entire structure of the building went down and these little pieces of trees didn't? And see, now where's the trail of the fire?
So just quickly, the point is I'm comparing this obviously to the footage that we've got from the Australian fires recently, just to bring us all up to speed.
You have this wall of green here. This didn't catch on fire, and this didn't catch on fire. Smoke did not come across these streets. So what the hell happened here? Look at this. It's all green. 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 What the heck? Houses turned to dust. Dust. These houses are encircled by green, and yet they're white, and they caught on fire. And there's nothing a burn pattern. This is weird.
Yeah. Well said, Grace. I think that's her name. Where's the burn pattern? Like, where did the fires come from? I mean, let's just draw a big circle around here and wonder about how on earth this could possibly be called a forest fire. Let's have a look at the perimeter and the inner parts of this burning. And we see a lot of this sort of pattern this sort of occurrence going on in the Australian bushfires, as I've been pointing out, and I'm going to try and
This is ridiculous.
let this whole thing play through before.
And these houses
the
have
end of the
nothing
night.
left in
There's
them.
just so much.
They're just flattened. And look at this. This one, how did this one catch on fire? What the heck did, I mean, these pictures, they don't make any sense to me. And then this has been bugging me for a while. I mean, look at this. 70 normal size houses. Look at this. What the hell happened to this car? What the hell made this car burn and left these trees standing? These poor people. These are just, there's no black. I mean, that's another thing, is that if these burn to the ground, why aren't they black? I just showed you pictures of what house fires look like afterwards. This is just creepy stuff. Now, this house actually looks like it burned. This is what I would expect
Creepy.
from a forest fire. Not this.
No, I wouldn't even
This,
expect.
yes. See all the burning here? Not this. There's no charred marks on anything. There.
There's no frame. There's no frame to the house, Chris.
Look at this.
There's no frame.
This looks like the inside of the World Trade Center. What was left of it?
It's demolished. And that, look at the
Drone
trees.
footage of the aftermath, we see houses completely obliterated and turned to ash while the
And I just thought I'd throw this in here as well for your entertainment value. This is from ODD TV, as you can see, and thanks very much to them. And they're another well-known channel, but I still have to pay my respects where I do, even though I've only got like 1 subscriber, I think, or maybe 40, I don't know. But just watch this. The point is, what in the world are we looking at?
surrounding landscapes and trees are totally fine. Here is a clip courtesy of
And he's got the spooky music too, which I can do, but I've just chosen not to.
Serbian
Because, I'm just not that good yet. Not that cool, I guess, or not that. I'll just.
conspiracy. Notice here that stores and restaurants are wiped out while other things are still in perfect shape. Other buildings are fine, trees are untouched, but specific structures are just devastated. You gotta ask yourself, what's up with that? How did the fires get to these certain buildings, but the surrounding areas, including the parking lot, look normal? Is this the result of direct energy weapons?
And yes, this scene was actually described as part of the forest fire. That's right. Yeah, let that sink in.
Ranged weapons that inflict damage on a target by emitting highly focused energy? The answer is most likely yes. But most people believe that these kind of weapons are just science fiction, due to movies like Austin Powers, for instance.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to begin phase 2 of our
sped
Ebert
this.
project.
I
What is it
did.
phase? I don't know phases. Anyways, this is the phase in which we put a giant
He didn't
laser
sped it.
on the moon. As you know, the moon rotates around the Earth like so.
It stops there.
When the moon reaches
He
its
has to
appropriate
walk
lunar
around
alignment,
and push
it will
it.
destroy Washington, D.C. Anyways, the key to this plan is the giant laser.
But in reality, these direct energy weapons are admitted to be real and are documented.
Scientists have been working on this top-secret project since 1974. This laser is capable of unleashing the power of the sun. Enough energy to light up every home in the U.S. or wipe out mankind.
Wow, that was dramatic. Now, this, I'm not quite as dramatic. I'll do my best. Now, this image just surfaced on YouTube and Facebook, I think 2 days ago. I'm doing my best to get this out as quickly as I can. And I need to give credit here to Border of Chaos, the YouTube channel Border of Chaos, and also Skies. I think this originally was, excuse me, this was originally, I'm just going to pause it. A part of a video from YouTube channel Skies, shared by Border of Chaos, and somehow I came across it. So I think they're relatively small channels as well. I'm not sure, but thanks to those guys. And it was put on Facebook, I believe, by a girl in the fire department. And I'm just gonna put it there. Go back just a wee bit if that works. And what do we see? This light here. And I've since had confirmation. I posted this image on a David Icke post actually online. And someone got back to me saying that it's been Photoshop checked. Now, I don't know who that was. I tried to find out, but I was told it was shared, and the information on who actually checked it couldn't be found. But that doesn't mean it wasn't done, and anyone's welcome to go and Photoshop that. Please Photoshop check that, however you do that. To me, it looks real. I'm looking at it right now thinking, why in the world would a girl in the, I think it was a girl, in the, whatever, when, I can't quite read that, whatever that town is, fire department, Photoshop this? How, why would they even know to do it? And I think it's started to get a bit of traction online. What an image that is. So that's a bit of hard evidence right there. Someone proved me wrong. Now, I don't know what's up there, if it's a drone or a plane or from a satellite. From the moon, maybe it's, what's his face from Austin Powers on the moon. Most likely satellite or a drone or a plane. Take your pick. I don't know. I'm just showing you what I can. I've done my best. New South Wales. And I've just thrown in some other images here. This is from Seeking the Truth. This is from the California fires. More of the same shit. There's lots of different depictions. That's a piece of artwork, obviously, but it's someone's idea of how this could be done. You know, I'm a tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorist. Now, that is an actual photo. Who knows, maybe these big planes are flying over, and these are real. This is a directed energy weapon mounted on the front of an enormous US plane. Navy or Army, whatever they fucking call it. I don't know. I'm sure you could probably tell it from a different angle of that plane if it was Navy or Army or fucking who knows. Some more depictions of I believe that's supposed to be there you go, Air Force. That's the missing one that I was scanning my brain for. Oh dear, this sounds terrible, doesn't it? All right. Oh, it's late. Right, so back to the point. What are we looking at? Property damage. Property damage. Property damage. Property damage. Trees are intact. Trees are intact. Is this something similar to like what we saw in California? Yes, it is. Trees are intact. I think these fires are now... the images here are from the Victorian fires now. When they decided that they'd had enough with New South Wales and South Australia, they were like, oh yeah, let's go to Victoria and smash up Eastern Gippsland and all the fuck up their lives out there. Now, if someone can somehow prove to me that that's a bushfire, by all means, go ahead, please. It doesn't look like a bushfire to me. So you got a bit of work to do in how to explain how that's a bushfire. Like I said at the start of the video, obviously there's bushfires, but a lot of this property damage, a lot of these houses are not caught in the bushfires exactly. Alright, we see car burnt out, demolished, obliterated, melted, whatever it is. The roof of the house is gone, but the trees are here. These little shrubs. This is dry. What if a fire came through here? Surely this dry bit of garden here would have burnt. No, this fire just attacks property, just people's property. And please ignore the reflection you see there. I've done my best. I've just videotaped this from the news. It's
You can see this car here.
Oh,
It
this
shows
guy's
the
great.
intensity
This
and the
guy's
heat
great.
of this fire.
Have a
The
listen
paint
to
has melted off and has run down the road, and it's now solidified. All the street signs
paint,
have melted
you hear that?
off.
hang on. hang on.
Is the intensity and the heat of this fire. The paint has melted off and has run down the road, and it's now
Oh dear. That's not paint, mate. That's alloy. That's aluminium alloy from the wheels and the engine block. And it takes an enormous amount of heat to melt aluminium. I know, because I work with the stuff. That's unbelievable. Let's have a good look at this. These dried out leaves on this tree right here aren't burnt. What kind of a fire comes through, melts an engine block and alloy wheels, but leaves the dry leaves on the tree? Here, surely the journalist must be asking himself the question, let alone putting it out. Oh, sure, he might be thinking in his little head there, why didn't this tree burn? But probably not. But wouldn't it be nice to see a journalist actually do his job for once, instead of just blurting out absolute rubbish? He said this was paint. Like, how does he actually believe that himself, or does he think that anyone's going to believe that? The mainstream media is just an absolute joke. Their news, I can't believe they're actually showing all this footage. I think they might be just taking the piss. They're thinking, oh, we'll show all this footage because no one's got a brain enough to even analyse it. But, you know, I think people do, and this is just a joke. That you can actually see where this molten alloy aluminium's coming from. Paint doesn't melt. I mean, is this for real or what? Do they actually expect us to believe the news, or?
solidified. All the street signs have melted off.
This is what an actual car fire looks like, and they get very hot because the fuel tank explodes, obviously, and it gets up over 1,000 degrees Celsius. But the wheels stay intact. I mean, a car fire is hotter than a forest fire because you've got petrol, you've got an explosion. But the wheels, alloy wheels, take an enormous amount of heat, and not just heat, an enormous amount of time for the heat to absorb into the aluminium or aluminium alloy. A huge amount of time. The melting point is around 600 degrees Celsius, and the car fire actually exceeds that. But for the actual material of the wheels to reach that point takes a huge amount of time at that temperature, like especially given the thickness and the size of the wheels and the depth of material. Either that, a huge amount of time for these wheels to reach that melting temperature, or an enormous amount of heat above that 600 degree point. Imagine, I don't know who could say what kind of temperatures these weapons could reach, but in a short moment of time, perhaps temperatures of I'm just speculating really now, although I've done my best to provide my expertise. A shorter burst of much higher heat could melt alloy wheels, and there's more. You might say, but that's a Jag. What about this one? I don't even know what kind of car that was, but the alloy rims remain. The alloy rims remain on this one. And they remain on that one. And that one. I might have dragged these images out a bit too long, but you get the point. What are we looking at? Well, what are we looking at? Good question. I'm just going to let it play. All right, this is This has been going on a long time. This is King Lake, 2009. Same thing. So they've been at this for a while now. This is Marysville, 2009. This is from November in New South Wales. One of the earlier fires this fire season, as they call it, the fire season. This guy's like, why didn't this one burn? This little tree here. Why this structure, whatever this was? Why did that burn? He's saying, and not the forest. Where did the fire come from? He's saying. That's what he's saying there. And how did it get to this car? Where's the burning pattern to and from this car? It just the fire just came in like this, bunk, bunk, like that. Didn't worry about any of this, any of the trees back here. There's no. How can you explain it? Perhaps it was directed energy weapons. Oh, what a huge call that is. More of the same. Just a second. This is from WA. I've got this written down. This is the amount of research I've done. Yarloop, 2016, I believe. And we see the same thing. So they've been at it way back, but yeah, I mean, they've always been at it. This is 4 years ago now or so. Yarloop. Not sure where that one's from, but it doesn't matter. The point is you can see what you see. This is California again, and it's just so obvious. I mean, that these houses weren't caught in a bushfire. Do I have to keep going over it? But I am going to keep going over it because it's like whoever watches this, you need to understand. You've probably been brainwashed. You watch the same thing on the news every night. It's repetition. You just keep. Oh, have a meme. There you go. I think it should say it's 2017 actually. But what's that? A golf course there. It's pretty green, eh? It's funny that the fire just sort of. Yeah. Ah, the trampoline. No, the trampoline. And the L-gas bottles, the LPG just not ignited, but the house was demolished. I'll just let it play. I'll stop talking because I'm annoying as fuck. I'll go get another beer. Oh, wait. This guy. He's like, how did that... This guy. How did that happen, he's saying. He's like, how the fuck did that happen? That's not actually what he said. That's just my interpretation of what he should have said. She's like, oh, it's just a normal fire. You know, these trees around here, it's not normal for them to burn in a forest fire, in a bushfire. And this poor lady's like, well, surely the trees back here would have burnt before my house, but what do you know? It's just shit luck. And the LPG, but they repeat these LPG bottles in the news. There they are again. They love it. There they are again. They love it. Over and over you see LPG bottles. They just love focusing on them. It's like a little subliminal hint or something. They just keep doing it. Yeah, well, I don't know. Absolutely obliterated. No frame left to the house. We to assume these houses were made of straw, made of hay. Just absolutely decimated, obliterated, melted cars. Doesn't look like a normal fire. Oh, here we go again. Where's that guy? Get him back here. Let him explain what happened to the car there. The paint melted. That's a school, and this guy's like, oh, why the hell? How the hell did this happen? I mean, he's probably looking at these trees going, why didn't they burn? If this was caught in a bushfire. It was one of those embers, one of those explosive embers. The C4 embers. They just keep landing on all these houses. Oh, that guy's, yeah, look at that. That's legit. That's a bushfire. And she's like, oh, this is just how fires work. So there's quite a lot of footage here. Oh, this is a good one. Hang on. Gee, that's a hell of a bushfire, isn't it? Bang, 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 bang. Why didn't they take out these houses? Oh, actually, it looks like these ones here are gone. That's a pile of rubble. I think these ones are too. Apologies for my video resolution. I've done the best I can with what I have at the time, but I think the point is coming across still. That looks like it's gone. Similar to what we saw before in the images of the California fires. The trees are still there. Where's the fire? Where's the burn pattern? Where'd the fire come from? Someone tell me where the fire came from to obliterate these houses. Property damage. Property damage. It's not a bushfire. Yeah. Well, what can you say? This poor lady's like, well, that's just shit luck. Sometimes the bushfire's just like, miss the bush, she's saying. What can you do? And this bloke's just going, well, we had a good run, but there she is. There's the house where me kids grew up, and at least I've still got the trees. And then the go-kart's gone. Whatever it is. Again, I probably I just need to reiterate, I do have the utmost compassion and empathy for the victims here who have lost their houses. This is tragic, and I'm shocked and I'm appalled by this. This is absolute garbage. More people need to wake up to what's really going on here. And these people absolutely do. I mean, at least these people who have lost their homes need to gather maybe a new perspective, maybe think a little bit harder about what happened. Look back at the images and ask themselves, well, was that really a bushfire, or was my house just demolished, just attacked, targeted? Oh, this is a good one. I don't know. I lost track of where this was, where the footage was that I was recording. It used to say like South Australia, Victoria, New South Wales, etc. But it's a very coastal area, obviously. This is all green here, even though my video quality's shit. I think I might have a better image of that later. Boom. But it's just a house burning. It's just a house. Look at the trees. How did the fire just get to the house without the trees? Oh dear, this is a long video, but I wanted to compile everything, and these poor people are like, what a load of crap. They're thinking I busted me pots, and huge amounts of sadness for these people and any like them. And this guy's just like, the fire just come through and smashed all these houses, but it didn't burn these trees. Because sometimes bushfires don't burn bush, they just burn houses. Yeah, she's shaking her head. How the hell did this happen? She says. Yeah, I was going to go get another beer before. Hang on. Freestyle truthers need to take a break every now and then. Well, this is actually my first time freestyle truthing, but but I'll grant myself a break now. I'll be back, and this will just keep playing. I don't know what's up next, but you probably get the point. She's probably just saying how it's probably just people like her talking about how they lost their houses, and they're like, well, shit, how the hell did that happen? Like, bloody hell. Alright, I'm done for the moment. Excuse me. All right, I'm back. What did I miss? What happened? I don't know if there was anything good there. Well, good. All right, stop. Yeah, is this the same image, the same scene as before that I was trying to talk about on the coast? No, well, it doesn't matter. The point is, I mean, I think I've already pointed it out 17, 18 times, maybe more. But or is it more like 80 or 90 times? I don't know. So the point is, well, you get it. You just look at it and you just say, well, that's weird. That's weird. At the least, that's what you say. That's weird. Oh, this guy's just like, is that Wheelman? Is that Melted Paint Man? Is that the same guy? I think it is, actually. Oh, I didn't have the audio. He's talking about him again. He's talking about... Oh, I didn't have the audio. I wish I had the audio on for this one. That's a shame. He was talking about the melted paint again. What a cracker. What a fucking cracker that bloke is. Property damage. Where's the bushfire? Why didn't that burn? Starting to feel like a bit of a broken record here, but like the point I was trying to make before, this is what the news does to their commentary over all this is that this is just a bushfire and etc. And it just keeps repeating over and over and over again, bushfire, bushfire, bushfire. So here I am repeating over and over again, trees, demolish buildings, demolish buildings, demolish buildings, demolish buildings, demolish buildings, property damage, property damage. And why, you might say? Well, this is the agenda. To get people out of these areas. I don't want people living nice lives out in the nice parts of the country, out in eastern Victoria and on the coast of New South Wales, etc. In the lovely alpine areas of Victoria and in the lovely areas of South Australia. They want you living in a crammed up little city with cameras up your bum. A smart city. This is just the start. This is how they're going to try and clear people out. They don't give a fuck. they're not abiding by any. The people who are doing this are not abiding by any law. They're above the law. Deep state, whatever you want to call it. The government's complicit, but not the ones doing it. They're just little puppets. I don't have all the answers, but I'm trying to find them. I don't believe it's Scott Morrison up there in the drone clicking the trigger on the directed energy weapon, but he may or may not know completely about it, so it's hard for me to commentate exactly on that. But I think there's a much higher power, if we can call them that. Some scumbags up the top of the triangle there who are orchestrating this shit. Let's just say the UN Agenda 2030, UN Agenda 21 in play. But what do I know? I'm just a tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorist. But at least I can make a good tinfoil hat because I work with steel every day. I can make a real good one. It's got a little peak on it. Looks good. It's fashionable. It's hip. Oh, look at that. You get the LPG bottles again. Some little subconscious little trigger thing. I don't know. I think it's a joke that they like to. The people who orchestrate this sort of footage, they like, let's put a fucking LPG bottle here. The propane for US people. And he's just like, it's just a normal fire, even though all those trees aren't burnt. There's one burnt there. It's just a normal fire. He talked for about, 20 seconds babbling shit. I might babble shit as well, but at least mine's truthful shit. It's not shit. It's just truth. Truth is good. These people need a bullet here. This poor bloke, just some hard-working, honest guy. He's got no idea of what's actually just happened. He's just like, that's just a bushfire. He shrugs his shoulders, it's just a bushfire, I guess. It just smashed my house. Caved-in roof. What are we looking at here? A commercial building. A really solid commercial building. With a caved-in roof. Oops, how far back did I go there? No, that's not a bushfire. It's just a big warped caved-in roof. There's a huge amount of heat's gone into that roof there, that tin roof. Yeah. And I wanted to record. There's a bit of a repeat, but I wanted to record this from the news because I'm not sure that these aerial photographs are going to be released. If they are, then we'll get a better high-res quality view of everything. But there's a chance that they just won't release them because they're just going to be so revealing. Any drone footage, overhead footage of these properties, all this property loss is just going to be very revealing of, as not what we're told. So need I keep pointing out the trees that are not burnt? I need not keep pointing them out, but I will. Tree. Property damage. Trees. Property damage. Property damage. Where's the frame of the house? Well, this guy... thanks, media. Thanks for everything you do, keeping us informed. You're the news we can trust. Every channel's the same. Doesn't matter, ABC, 10, 9, 7, whatever they want to call themselves. They all just read the same fucking script. The fire just came through here and didn't burn the trees and smash the houses. And there's a power pole leaning on its side for some reason. What about the garden? Oh, good purchase. Those poor people. Trees. Anyone see trees? Does anyone see a bushfire? Oh, look at that. Someone's having a bloody campfire. Property damage. Now, don't anyone go accusing me of saying there's no bushfires, because like I clearly explained at the start, I know there's bushfires. Thousands of hectares burnt. It's a tragedy. There's been wildlife loss in the millions. It's absolutely disgusting. I'm trying to approach this with a sense of humour. I'm trying to deliver my message. What I'm trying to say as best I can, and I'm trying to keep a sense of humour for some reason. I guess that's the only thing that keeps people sane in conditions and times like these. But it's just disgusting what's going on here. The amount of bush that's been lost, wildlife lost, people's property lost. Will the thousands of hectares that have actually been burnt, unlike a lot of the trees we see around these properties which have been targeted, will it ever recover? Will Australia ever recover? Well, we need to wake people up if we're going to recover, because there's some seriously bad shit going on here. There's old Scotty just checking it out. He's doing his job. You know, he's the CEO of the Corporation of Australia. He's got to get out there and pay lip service and pretend like he's a Prime Minister, but really he's just...
The other major concern
here we go.
Here is that these
Let's have a
fires
listen to
can
some
produce
explanation
their own weather,
from the news.
giving smoke and ash up to form storm clouds.
Oh.
Traditional thunderstorms have a burst of rain.
Oh.
These beasts are dry, so it's a violent rush of wind instead.
Oh, okay.
Lightning strikes potentially starting new fires.
Right, and they just
Melbourne's
target
temperature
houses.
dropped to the teens this afternoon. And
Oh, thanks, Jane. That's her name, Jane. Thanks for that explanation. That made so much sense, and it really explained why all these houses have been demolished. I mean, fires create storms now. Must be just a new thing, I guess. It's just one of those things. Must be climate change. Which, by the way, is a thing. I mean, we've raised a whole 1 degree in, I think, 80 years or 100 years, like 1 degree, according to the Bureau of Statistics. Wow, it's a whole 1 degree, and now houses are exploding, spontaneously combusting. That's the result of a 1 degree rise.
starting new fires.
Thanks.
Melbourne's temperature dropped to the teens this afternoon. And
Hey, is it sad or funny? It's just sad. This guy's sad. Cut 40 million. Cut 40 million from the CFA budget and gave himself a pay rise. Oh, but look, they can now make use of anyone's property. You know, you got to do your part. You control movement. It's nothing like martial law, but they're doing it in a nice way. It's martial law in a nice way. They're not going to arrest anyone, and I think that's what this lady's saying. They're not going to arrest anyone. I'll turn the audio off because I just can't fucking listen. They're not going to arrest anyone, but at least not for now. They're just going to make use of your property, control movements in and out, and all that sort of stuff. And it was only for a week. To be fair, this is the area, and they've only set it for a week. But I believe over the next 10 years, we're going to see. We've been sort of butted up for this. You know, we're supposed to get used to this idea of greater police control and you know, martial law, basically, just given a different name. You know, what did they call it? A disaster, a declaration of disaster or something. Here we go, next 10 years. And I just wanted to finish. I know it's been a long video. If anyone's watched this whole thing, congratulations, because by geez, I've had a bit of a struggle getting through all of that. Beer and toilet break included. I just wanted to finish with this image, which I've been told is legit, and someone else check it as well. Run it through your Photoshop checker. That's from New South Wales. It's going to fade out. I think you can tell if it's Photoshopped when it fades out. That's why I've done that. Does it look fake? Not to me. Cheers. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, and maybe I'll have another video one day. I'm a bit slow, but anyway.